Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 16th Annual First Lieutenant Roslyn L. Schulte Cadet Award and Recognition Ceremony, presented by the Center for Character and Leadership Development. I'm Cadet Second Class Jamie Snyder, your narrator this afternoon. Please stand for the presentation of the colors and remain standing for the singing of the national anthem by the Aerodynamics.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
We are extremely honored to welcome Lieutenant Schulte's parents, Robert and Susie Schulte. Your presence is an honor, and without your support today, the ceremony would not be possible. Thank you. We would also like to welcome our superintendent, Lieutenant General Tony D. Bauernfein, as well as the other Academy senior leaders and distinguished guests. Finally, we would like to extend a warm welcome to all of our award nominees. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the screen to introduce you to Lieutenant Schulte.
While deployed in support of the global war on terrorism on May 20th, 2009, First Lieutenant Roslyn "Roz" Littman Schulte became the first female United States Air Force Academy graduate to be killed by enemy action. Roz was assigned to the Pacific Air Force's 613th Air and Space Operations Center at Hickam Air Force Base in Hawaii and deployed as an intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance operations officer. 3 months after she arrived in Afghanistan, she was traveling in a convoy near Kabul when she was killed by an improvised explosive device. Commissioned in 2006, Roz was part of the first class to enter the academy after the attacks of September 11th. A Bronze Star and Purple Heart recipient, she was also awarded the National Intelligence Medal for Valor, the first named female recipient. Her citation noted her courageous efforts to teach Afghan military officials how to gather and interpret military intelligence. Wise beyond her years, Roz was a servant leader whose courage, mentorship, and strength earned the respect of airmen, generals, and Afghan military leaders alike. From the lacrosse field as a cadet to the front lines of service, she exemplified bravery and sacrifice and embodied an unstoppable force, one whose legacy continues to inspire generations. Today, we gather to honor Roz and all our graduates who have made the ultimate sacrifice. Lance Sijon, Donald Moore, Laura Piper, David Lyon, Matthew Rowland, Mark Weber, and many more. Each is a reminder of the price of freedom and the power of purpose. We remember and honor them as we look to the future and the graduates who exemplify Roz's dedication to impeccable character, unwavering leadership, and the spirit of service. Let us remember and honor our past and celebrate our future. In honor of their daughter's sacrifice and legacy, Roz's parents, Bob and Susie Schulte, created the First Lieutenant Roslyn L. Schulte Award for exemplary cadet character and leadership. Each year since 2010, we recognize an outstanding Cadet First Class who embodies Roz's impeccable character, unwavering leadership, and spirit of service. Congratulations to this year's winner and nominees.
First Lieutenant Roslyn Schulte, USAFA class of 2006, was killed in action by a roadside bomb outside of Kabul, Afghanistan on May 20th, 2009. Lieutenant Schulte embraced her role as a servant leader, whether serving as a cadet, lacrosse captain, group commander, member of the wing staff, or an active duty airman. She consistently exceeded the high expectations set for her and served as a mentor to her subordinates, peers, and supervisors. During her time as a cadet and as an Air Force officer, Lieutenant Schulte was indeed an outstanding leader of character, looking towards our future. Today we recognize 6 members of the class of 2025 who embody Lieutenant Schulte's legacy. To expand on the importance of courageous service, we are honored to have Colonel Retired Kim Casey Campbell speak to us this afternoon. Kim Casey Campbell is a retired colonel who served in the Air Force for 24 years as a fighter pilot and senior military leader. She has flown 1,800 hours in the A-10 Warhog, including more than 100 combat missions, protecting troops on the ground in both Iraq and Afghanistan. In 2003, Colonel Campbell was awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross for heroism after successfully recovering her battle-damaged airplane after an intense close air support mission. Prior to her retirement, Colonel Campbell served as the Director of the Character and Leadership Development, and Colonel Campbell is also the author of the best-selling book, Flying in the Face of Fear, a fighter pilot's lesson on leading with courage. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Colonel Kim Casey Campbell.
Well, good afternoon. It is truly an honor to be here today to help present the Schulte Award in honor of First Lieutenant Roslyn Schulte. To Roz's family, Bob and Susie, thank you for being here. It has been a pleasure getting to know you over the past few years, and I'm grateful for your continued connection to the Academy and your commitment to the Air Force Academy. Thank you for the enduring influence that you're also making, not just today, but for generations of cadets and service members who will continue to be inspired by Roz's story. Roslyn Schulte was one of us. She sat where you're sitting today. I imagine that in those final days before graduation, she couldn't have known just how far her character, her leadership, and commitment to service would take her, or how many lives she would touch. Neither do you. But your opportunity to lead and make a difference may come sooner than you expect. As a first lieutenant and a young intelligence officer, Roz Schulte was making a difference. She set an example for all of us in what it means to serve with impeccable character, unwavering leadership, and spirit of service. She led with courage, and she led with conviction. And because of that, she earned the trust and admiration of those she served with, from young airmen to senior generals, other nationalities, and other services. That kind of respect isn't easily earned, especially so early in your career. Roz was also known as a mentor, not just to those she led, but also to her peers and her superiors. Again, that's no easy task. It takes real strength and moral courage to lead and influence at every level. As only a first lieutenant, Roz helped shape the Afghan military and change the way intelligence was taught and shared. Her actions had a strategic impact, proof that rank doesn't define your ability to make a difference. Roz's impact didn't end with her sacrifice. Her legacy continues to inspire us, and it will shape the lives of airmen and guardians for generations to come. So I challenge each of you to follow in her example. Be ready to make a difference. Be ready to lead with courage. Be ready on day one. Now, I know that can feel like a lot to take in right now, because I remember sitting where you are today. I was excited, hopeful, and maybe even a little bit nervous about what was ahead. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day activities of USAFA, and sometimes we forget our purpose, our reason for being here. I had no idea how quickly everything would change. September 11th, 2001 changed the world as we knew it. The events that day impacted people around the world in deeply personal and lasting ways. And for me, as an A-10 pilot, it changed everything. It shaped my career, my path, and my purpose in ways I never could have imagined. Now, not long after finishing A-10 training in December of 2001, I reported to Pope Air Force Base in North Carolina for my first assignment. I got checked out as combat mission ready, and a few weeks later, we deployed to Afghanistan for Operation Enduring Freedom. This picture here is actually my USAFA class of 1997 classmates. We were all in the same fighter squadron, all deployed to Afghanistan together. Now, Afghanistan was a pretty interesting place back in 2002. We slept on cots, we lived in tents, we ate MREs. It felt a lot like Jack's Valley. And then just a few months after returning from Afghanistan, we got word we would be deploying again, this time to Kuwait to support Operation Iraqi Freedom. It was a quick turnaround, but we wanted to go. We had trained so hard, and we knew that the ground troops were counting on us. We knew we could make a difference. And so we arrived in Kuwait on March 1st, 2003. The ramp was covered with aircraft as far as you could see. We felt like war was imminent, and we had to be ready, because that 18-year-old soldier on the ground was counting on us. One evening, my squadron commander pulled us all into the briefing room, and he told us that we needed to write letters home, so that if we didn't make it, he would have letters to deliver to our family. That was a reality check. When the war kicked off a few weeks later, we were greeted by an alarm red, an indication of an incoming missile. Now, I've done my share of chem warfare training, and I will tell you that it really never felt relevant. Like I would probably never use it. But let me tell you, when that alarm sounded, I have never been so happy to get my gas mask on so quickly. When the alarm sounds and the intel officer is screaming from the other room that there's an incoming missile to our location, it kind of puts everything into perspective. It's real and it matters. I'll never forget our director of operations walking around the room, kind of patting us all on the head just to make sure we were doing okay. We would spend the next several weeks in some form of chem warfare gear. Another reality check. I have to say that flying missions in Iraq, it was surreal in many ways. I never imagined as a cadet that I would be flying missions over downtown Baghdad, flying close air support into the SuperMez, also known as the Missile Engagement Zone. But then on April 7th, 2003, while over Baghdad, I got the call that every A-10 pilot trains for. Yard 05, this is Advanced 3-3. We're taking fire. We need immediate assistance. The hair on the back of my neck stands up. My adrenaline is pumping because lives are on the line. We listen carefully to what the ground controller is telling us. He says that our friendly troops are over on the west side of the Tigris River. They're awaiting resupply. The enemy is on the east side of the Tigris River, firing rocket-propelled grenades into our troops. We're now given a target to strike that is underneath the North Baghdad Bridge where the enemy is hiding. So we quickly plot everything on our maps because we can't make a mistake that will put friendly lives in danger. And at this point, we can't actually see the ground below. There are clouds covering Baghdad as far as we can see. It's almost eerily calm and quiet here above the weather, and yet we know there's this battle raging down below. Heading to the target, we stay above the weather until the very last second, just kind of hoping that we can surprise the enemy. And then I look over at my flight lead. He confidently just rolls inverted, disappears down through the clouds to get below the weather, and now it's my turn. I look down, I find the hole in the clouds, and I dive through. As soon as I pop out down below the weather, I can instantly see this firefight. There are bright flashes, smoke, and tracers going back and forth across the river. It's surreal. I mean, this is what we train for. This is what we plan for. And then suddenly, puffs of gray and white smoke and bright flashes are in the air right next to my cockpit. Not only is there this firefight going back and forth across the river, but now the enemy is shooting up at us too. Still, we have a mission to do. We use gun and rockets on the enemy location, and then I set up for my last rocket pass. I check distance from the target, my altitude, make sure my switches are set correctly, and then I roll in. I fine-tune my aim point, hit the weapons release button. 7 rockets come out of the aircraft onto the enemy location. I immediately just pull away from the ground, away from the threat, trying to climb up to get my altitude and airspeed back. And boom! There's this bright flash as I'm rocked in the cockpit. I feel and hear this loud explosion at the back of the airplane. I'm hit. Oh, shit, who got hit? Who got hit?
Copy, Chuck. Bring it back to the west. Try and come west.
I can't is the best that I can come up with in that moment. What was I really trying to say? I can't turn, I can't climb, I can't control the airplane. And it is now plunging to the ground completely out of control. Am I going to crash? Do I need to eject? Will I even survive? Well, now the jet rolls over and points down at Baghdad below. I pull back on the control stick. Nothing happens. The ground is now getting closer, and I know I might have to eject. And so I quickly try to analyze the situation. Master caution light, caution panel, hydraulic lights, hydraulic gauges. They're at 0. The system is completely depleted, and I am now plunging to the ground completely out of control. Ejection handles? Not yet. It's about the last thing I want to do is potentially eject into the hands of the enemy. And so I know I need to make every second count. I set aside my fear, I focus on taking action, and I engage the backup emergency system. And slowly, this airplane starts to climb up and away from Baghdad. It's the first moment I feel like I can make it out of here alive. Now, when my airplane was hit, and in those roughly 20 seconds that passed, which felt like an eternity, I was very aware of all the things that could go wrong. There were a lot of them. But I had to focus on what was most important first. I knew I had to make a decision if I was going to survive. I didn't have time to ask for help. I didn't even have time to open a checklist. I just had to react. And thankfully, my training kicked in. And I was able to respond and take action in this critical situation. The point of all of this, you need to be ready. Because you never know when your moment will come. Very quickly after graduation, you will be given great responsibility. Whether it's leading airmen or guardians, flying or maintaining multi-million-dollar aircraft, providing critical intelligence, monitoring and controlling satellites, the list goes on. No matter your role, you will be entrusted with our nation's most precious resources, America's sons and daughters. And you will find yourself in uncertain territory, facing challenges you never imagined. As a lieutenant, you will be placed in complex situations and expected to make decisions. You need to be ready to lead on day one. No doubt that when Roz graduated, she didn't foresee herself advising Afghan military leaders or driving through downtown Kabul in armed convoys. But Roz met that challenge head on and she thrived. She took her academy experience and she built on it. She adapted quickly to a mission that, quite honestly, the Air Force didn't specifically train her to do. And she led with courage in a mission filled with uncertainty and danger. Her legacy lives on in those who choose to lead with that same courage, conviction, and commitment to service. To our nominees, you are all incredibly deserving of the Schulte Award. You truly embody the spirit of service that First Lieutenant Roslyn Schulte lived every day. And today, we honor each of you for your outstanding contributions and your potential to carry forward her remarkable legacy of impeccable character, unwavering leadership, and spirit of service. To the firsties, you are about to embark on an incredible journey, and you have a solid foundation built here at USAFA. But now it's up to you. How will you respond when you're tested? How will you react? Roslyn Schulte accepted the known risks, staying focused on her mission and her call to service. There will be risks ahead for you as well. But remember, risks are often necessary to achieve our goals, whether in combat or in peacetime. You must be prepared to serve and lead. You need to be ready for the challenges that come your way so that you too can make a lasting impact. Our officers, our enlisted, our civilians will be asked to answer the nation's call, and you will be the ones leading them. So live like Roz. Act with character. Lead with courage. Step up and take action even as a lieutenant, even when it's hard. Make an impact. Make a difference. Be unstoppable. Because you never know when your moment will be. Good luck, and thank you.
Thank you, Colonel Campbell, for your reflections and inspiring words. At this time, we invite our Academy Superintendent, Lieutenant General Tony Bauernfein, and Colonel Matthew Horner, Permanent Professor, Center for Character and Leadership Development, to join us on stage to present certificates to our finalists. Cadets, as your name is announced, please come forward to accept your recognition certificate. Cadet First Class Riley Anderson is Cadet Squadron 25's Director of Character and Honor and ensures the integrity of the Honor Code at USAFA. He has held numerous leadership roles within the Cadet Wing, the Flying Team, and the Summer Operations Group. Prior to his current position, Cadet Anderson served as the Flying Team Director of Operations. Cadet Anderson will graduate with a Bachelor of Science degree in Computer Science. After graduating, he will commission as a Second Lieutenant in the United States Air Force. Accepting his certificate on behalf of Cadet Anderson is his Squadron Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Joseph Newman. Cadet First Class Reggie Capati served as a member of the Speaker Engagement Team for the 2023 and 2024 and 2025 National Character and Leadership Symposium. He has served in various leadership positions at both the squadron and group levels, and now serves as a member of Squadron Training Staff, the Cadet First Responder Team, and as a cadet in charge of the Cadet Fitness Center. Cadet Capati will graduate with a Bachelor of Science degree in Biology and a minor in Spanish. After graduation, he will commission as a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force and attend medical school at the Texas A&M University College of Medicine. Cadet First Class Dylan Cinta serves as the squadron commander for Cadet Squadron 13. In addition to his squadron leadership role, Cadet Cinta was the cadet in charge of the 2025 National Character and Leadership Symposium Delegates Team. He also serves as the senior video manager for the Air Force Falcons football team. Cadet Cinta enlisted in the Air Force in 2016 and spent 4 years on active duty before being accepted to the Academy's preparatory school. He will graduate with a Bachelor of Science degree in Aeronautical Engineering. After graduation, Cadet Cinta will commission as a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force and will attend pilot training at Laughlin Air Force Base. Cadet First Class Yujin Shim serves as the cadet in charge of the 2025 National Character and Leadership Symposium Speaker Engagement Team, connecting NCLS speakers to various groups across the Academy. She has served in a variety of leadership roles and is currently a flight commander in Cadet Squadron 12. Cadet Shim will graduate with a Bachelor of Science degree in Biology with a minor in Spanish, and she will commission as a second lieutenant in the United States Space Force. Cadet First Class Kylie Swartz serves as the production management cadet in charge for the 2025 National Character and Leadership Symposium. Cadet Swartz began her Air Force journey in 2020 at the Academy's preparatory school before transitioning to the USAFA as a member of Cadet Squadron 9. Her leadership experience includes serving as a Group 1 General Staff Division Chief and a personal ethics and education representative. Cadet Swartz will graduate with a Bachelor of Science in Behavioral Science. She will commission as a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force. Cadet First Class Joseph Cheddar currently serves as the Cadet Wing Commander and a glider instructor pilot. In his Cadet Wing role, he serves as the training and preparation for all cadets to achieve the institution's mission to forge leaders of character, motivated to a lifetime of service, and developed to lead our Air Force and Space Force as we fight and win our nation's wars. Cadet Cheddar enlisted in the Air Force in 2017 as a munitions systems technician and spent 3 years on active duty before being accepted to the Academy's preparatory school. He will graduate with a Bachelor of Science degree in Civil Engineering and will commission as a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force. Upon commissioning, Cadet Cheddar will pursue Euro-NATO Joint Pilot Training Program and will graduate school at Purdue University. The distinctive accomplishments of these cadets reflect great credit upon themselves in the United States Air Force Academy, honoring the spirit of service of Lieutenant Schulte. Thank you, Lieutenant General Bauernfein and Colonel Horner. Before we announce the recipient of this year's award, I would like to take a moment to invite Mr. and Mrs. Schulte up to our stage for the presentation of the medallion case and explain the symbolism of the Schulte medallion. The medallion is gold and silver in color and is emblazoned with the Polaris Star, also known as the North Star. While other stars move across the sky, the North Star's position remains fixed, making it an indispensable navigation tool for centuries to come. The Polaris Star signifies a moral compass, representative of those who served as a guiding force and a beacon to those around them. In memory of Lieutenant Schulte, her name is engraved on the back of the medallion, and her picture is showcased on the front. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now recognize the 2025 recipient of the First Lieutenant Roslyn L. Schulte Medallion. Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2025 First Lieutenant Roslyn L. Schulte Cadet Award recipient is Cadet First Class Kylie Swartz. Congratulations, Cadet Swartz. Cadet finalists, at this time, I invite all of you to join in for a group photograph. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Schulte, Colonel Horner, and cadet finalists. At this time, Lieutenant General Bauerfein will provide closing remarks. Sir, the floor is yours.
So how are we doing, everybody, today? Hey. This is always a great opportunity when we get an opportunity to pause and reflect on those amazing Americans who've paved the way for us. And so before I start with some closing comments, I want to have a few thanks. First off, to the organizers, to the Center for Character and Leadership Development, and to all the cadets, the entire team that made this happen. Absolutely well done and very much appreciated. Well done. So thank you very much. Colonel Campbell, where are you at in the house? Outstanding. Thank you for those inspiring words. You set the sight picture exactly right. This is our future. These are the warrior leaders that are going to go out into our brave new world and defend our great nation. And you've set them up exceptionally as we think through that. So thank you for continuing to serve in our nation and to our academy. And then finally, a heartfelt thanks to the Schultes. You gave us First Lieutenant Schulte. You gave us Roz. You have given us an exemplar of what right looks like. And I just wanted to say, on behalf of the entire United States Air Force Academy, the entire Air Force and our Space Force, thank you for what you have given to our nation and for your continual support so that we can prepare our future warrior leaders for the future. Thank you. Well, what does this award mean to me? What does it mean to us? It's about, to me, it's an indicator of our priorities. When we talk about our priorities at the Academy of forging warfighters to win, motivating leaders of character and quality, and inspiring those critical thinkers to adapt, Roz is the exact exemplar of our priorities. It's an exemplar of what it means to have a warrior ethos. It's that exemplar that First Lieutenant Schulte showed to us, that she was a master of her craft. She focused on her readiness. And when the nation called, she said, "Send me." This is what this award means to me, because it highlights the focus, the professionalism, the sacrifice that we need of our warrior leaders to defend this great nation. And Roz is that exemplar. And to all of our nominees and our award winner, absolutely congratulations. Absolutely exceptional demonstration over your time here at the Academy. And I know you're going to continue this going forward as you serve in our Air Force and our Space Force. So thank you for what you're doing and all the support you had behind it. But my final comment is to each of you. You are our future. You are our warrior leaders. Some of you are within weeks of going out into our Air Force and Space Force and leading airmen and guardians. But many others, you're just a few months behind. And as you think from today, as we focus on leadership and character, I ask you to reflect. I ask you to reflect upon the sacrifice that Lieutenant Schulte made, the sacrifice that so many others have made, the preparation they made. And you've heard me say it before, that we stand on the shoulders of giants. those giants who have paved the way for us. Roz is one of those giants, and many others to join Roz. But take time to reflect, to learn the lessons that we have taken in today, not only from Lieutenant Schulte, but also from Colonel Campbell, and many others that have gone before us. And reflect upon this and take those lessons forward to develop yourselves, because at some point the nation will call. And the nation will call and ask you to go forward, and you will be ready. Because I have the highest confidence in you, and I know that when that time comes, you'll say, "Send me," and you'll take the fight forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lieutenant General Bauerfeind, for your inspiring words. We would like to thank everyone who attended today's ceremony. Please stand for the playing of the Air Force and Space Force songs. Congratulations again to all our nominees and this year's newest award winner. All right. Cadets, dismissed.